Volunteers with Bastrop County Emergency Services say they're in desperate need of more ambulances in the county.
They say the number they have is not enough to keep folks safe as the population continues to grow. KVUE's Jessica Cha is outside of Bastrop City Hall, where volunteers will be asking council members tomorrow to create a third emergency services district. Jessica.
Yeah, Brian and Ashley. So right now, Bastrop County has a contract with Acadian, which supplies just 4 ambulances for this entire area. Volunteers say that putting their petition on the ballot in November will save many lives in the long run. If you call for help in Bastrop County,
trauma supplies, medications,
you're more likely to see volunteers with the Bastrop County first responders before you see an ambulance.
So we're a volunteer organization that supplements 911 calls here in the county. So whenever a 911 call goes out, we have the opportunity to respond and stabilize a patient prior to the ambulance getting there.
Preston McGrew, vice president of the organization, says that's because they only have 4 ambulances covering all 896 square miles of the county.
So we've waited on scene with a patient up to 45 minutes to an hour waiting for an ambulance to come for a critical patient.
McGrew says they also don't have big enough hospitals to treat traumatic injuries like heart attacks or strokes.
Even if I pick up a patient, I still have to take them an hour to a hospital in Austin. So it's very challenging, and having 4 ambulances is just not nearly enough.
McGrew says their volunteers are using their own cars, gas, and time to respond to calls. He says he responds to about 40 calls a month, and that can be dangerous. Jordana Graber says one of her dad's construction workers fell 20 feet at work last year.
He had like a pelvic fracture. He had like blood coming from his head.
She says by the time her dad got to the accident 30 minutes later, there still wasn't an ambulance.
So obviously they couldn't transport. So then they called for the helicopter.
McGrew says Bastrop County is set to double its population by 2040, and something needs to change.
So we proposed an ESD, which is an emergency service district, and we've asked that to be put on the ballot for November.
He says a third district would allow the county to run their own ambulance service and will bring in 11 ambulances in total. He says they plan to ask Bastrop City Council to add it to their November ballot. Mayor Pro Tem John Kirkland says the first responders volunteers have done a great job, but
the sheer number of people that are coming into our county, it probably is time to move beyond those volunteer services so that we can provide a higher class and degree of service.
Because there are lives on the line.
We shouldn't be relying on a volunteer organization to help stabilize our patients. We need an actual ambulance service that can provide for the needs of this county.
The Bastrop County first responders will be presenting their proposition to City Council members here at City Hall tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Mayor Pro Tem John Kirkland says that if City Council votes to put this on their November ballot, then it really is up to voters to decide if they want to raise property taxes in order to receive more emergency services. Live in Bastrop County, Jessica Cha, KVUE News. Back to you guys.
Jessica, thank you.